Ivy Wolf and Destiny Bohannon. Bohannon led the team in scoring last year. Ivy Wolf leading the team in scoring this year. They're also going to need to share the ball, move it around, and of course, limit turnovers. That has been difficult depending on the defenses they've faced throughout this season. And those are the David Otto keys to the game for LaSalle. The Flyers on the road here wearing red. The Explorers wearing white, and we are underway. LaSalle wins the tip-off. Starters for LaSalle wearing white. Number 1, Tiara Bolden. There's Masciantonio, who misses. The point guard is number 12, Molly Masciantonio. Number 10, Nicole Melius. Number 13, Michaela Miller. And number 32, Jolene Armandaris. There is no true big out there for LaSalle as they have hit the injury bug. We'll get into that. Starting 5 for Dayton. Number 3, Anissa Jones. Number 10, Ivy Wolf. Number 13, Shannon Wheeler. Number 23, Mariah Perez. And number 33, Destiny Bohannon. The Flyers are without the leading rebounder in the Atlantic 10 in Ariana Smith, as there's the first bucket of the game for Dayton. Destiny Bohannon hits at the shot clock buzzer. She shoots about 30% from out there, averages just under 11 points per game, which is second on the team. She was the team leader last year. So LaSalle, they have been without Emily Tejada for good stretches of this season, one of their front court players. They're also without Haley Childs, so the only big on the entire team who's available is Amber Bullard. She starts on the bench. In the post, hook shot, easy work from Mariah Perez, the 6'3" grad student from Newark, New Jersey. She was second on the team in scoring last year. This year averages 7 points per game. Was held scoreless in their most recent contest against St. Louis on Wednesday for just the second time this season. She will not be held scoreless today. Armandaris. Now to Masciantonio. Pick and roll, wide open is Armandaris. Can they get it to her? Instead, they find Tiara Bolden wide open, rattles in and out. It was a good look, as that's picked off by Michaela Miller. 2-on-2. Miller finds Masciantonio with the trailer 3, too strong. Melius, offensive board, finds Bolden for the first bucket of the game for LaSalle. Here's an open jumper from the elbow, wide from Anissa Jones. Here's Ivy Wolf, the junior transfer from Miami of Ohio, as there's a steal for Nicole Melius. Masciantonio with the ball. She's 4th in the A10 in assist to turnover ratio. Was first, not in the A10, in the nation last season. An open Bolden takes the 3 again, in and out. Moving quickly, Jones kicks it out. Corner 3, that goes in and out. Rebound for Melius. She's done a nice job on the boards. Masciantonio moving quickly in transition, puts it up, gets her own rebound. Or Melius does, and that's going to be stuck. It's what they call a wedgie. Ruled as a jump ball, held ball. Dayton gets possession as Shannon Wheeler pokes it out of there. 6-foot-tall forward from Detroit. Substitution. Gabby Turco comes off the bench for LaSalle. That's a jumper off target. Meanwhile, Nio Lear comes in for the Flyers. 5-2 lead early for Dayton. Melius looking for Turco. The pass is off. Bolden collects. Bolden in the paint. Goes up. Off the back iron. Collected by Anissa Jones. Jones outside. Into Perez. Inside, nicely done by Shannon Wheeler underneath. 7-2 lead early for Dayton. This team coming off an odd game against St. Louis. They scored just 14 points in the first half. They scored 47 in the second half, as there's the foul called. Flyers looking to keep up what they did in that second half. Not start out slow again, as they lost that game 87-61. They were down 40-14 at halftime. Substitutions for LaSalle. We see Emma Egan come in, backup guard, as well as Amber Bullard, freshman center from Philadelphia, and the only front court player that LaSalle has available in the rotation today. She's listed at 6'2". Masciantonio makes the first free throw. And makes the second. Meanwhile, Eve Fiala comes in. Freshman from this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. She's from Indiana, PA. Had a career game on Wednesday against St. Louis. Her first career double-double. She finished with 15 points and 10 rebounds. As that's a foul called on Michaela Miller.
Fouls on 13, Michaela Miller for the first.
Miller helped the team tremendously in their game on Wednesday, defeating UMass up in Amherst. They won 63-61 due to 2 free throws in the final moments from Michaela Miller, as that's a foul called on Gabby Turco. LaSalle can't really afford to get into foul trouble in this game. With a thin roster. Wolf. Jones. Lear. Handoff, Wolf. Inside, Fiala. Off the glass, falls off the rim. Miller brings it up. Plants outside to Melia. She's got the green light from anywhere, and that's why. Nicole Melius, the all-time leading scorer in the history of New York City basketball. An incredible high school career she had in Staten Island. And she has kept it up here in Division I college basketball. She averages 10 points per game, shooting 36% and 34.1% from the three-point line. Out of bounds, it'll stay with LaSalle. That brings us to a media timeout. We'll take a break. Back in just a moment here on ESPN+.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. Don't miss a beat with plans as low as $0 per month. We have the strongest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. You'll also get 24/7 telemedicine visits and coverage for hospital stays, prescription.
First quarter here at Tom Gola Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. All knotted up. And makes a second. Meanwhile, Eve Fiala comes in. Freshman from this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. She's from Indiana, PA. Had a career game on Wednesday against St. Louis. Her first career double-double. She finished with 15 points and 10 rebounds. As that's a foul called on Michaela Miller.
Fouls on 13, Michaela Miller for the first.
Miller helped the team tremendously in their game on Wednesday, defeating UMass up in Amherst. They won 63-61 due to 2 free throws in the final moments from Michaela Miller, as that's a foul called on Gabby Turco.
Fouls on number 31, Gabby Turco, her first, team second.
LaSalle can't really afford to get into foul trouble in this game. With a thin roster. Wolf. Jones. Lear. Handoff, Wolf. Inside, Fiala. Off the glass, falls off the rim. Miller brings it up. Plants outside to Melius. She's got the green light from anywhere, and that's why. Nicole Melius, the all-time leading scorer in the history of New York City basketball. An incredible high school career she had in Staten Island. And she has kept it up here in Division I college basketball. She averages 10 points per game, shooting 36% and 34.1% from the three-point line. Out of bounds, it'll stay with LaSalle. That brings us to a media timeout. We'll take a break. Back in just a moment here on ESPN+.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. Don't miss a beat with plans as low as $0 per month. We have the strongest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. You'll also get 24/7 telemedicine visits and coverage for hospital stays, prescriptions, and behavioral health. You can even earn cash rewards for your healthy habits. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call 1-844-203-2558. You can count on Independence Blue Cross.
Okay, so you're going to need a new car, right? Well, we need to talk now. We've ordered 40 you a car together.
Or experts physical therapy.
Thank you for your generic degree.
Explorers have a chance to get to 500 today in the A10. They sit at 4-5. Dayton 3-7. Here's Emma Egan. I'm Corey Cohen with you here live on ESPN+. Shot clock down to 5. Egan, little spin off the glass. Wolf. Outside. Drive from Jones. That's put up. Offensive board from Fiala, goes right back up and scores. 6'4" center from Indiana, PA. Moving quickly, Egan, offensive foul. As Bolden comes back in for LaSalle, and Taisia Kozlova comes in for the first time today for Dayton. She is a senior from Moscow, Russia, transferred from Maryland. This is her second season at Dayton. She's a backup big. Inside, Fiala. Bohannon now. Driving, knocked away, out of bounds, LaSalle ball. Again, Dayton missing 2 players. One is not a surprise. Riley Rissmiller hasn't played since January 12th. But they are also missing Ariana Smith, who is one of the top scorers and not just the best rebounder on the team, but first in the Atlantic 10. A ton of contact, no foul called. Dayton has it down court. Jones. Masciantonio has it off the air ball. Masciantonio slows down. Armendariz given away. Anissa Jones has it in transition. Jones. And out of bounds. Nice hustle play on defense from Armendariz. Getting back after the turnover. As Melius comes in for Masciantonio. Outside, corner 3, short. Turco has the rebound, wants to move in transition. And Turco pulls it back. junior, originally from Wildwood, New Jersey, went to St. Anselm College, Division II. He's a first-year transfer. There's a foul call, and that'll send Tiara Bolden to the line. As Masciantonio comes right back into the game, this time for Turco.
Masciantonio back into the Explorers. Now sends Tiara Bolden to the line, shooting two.
So Tiara Bolden at the line, junior from Eugene, Oregon. Transferred in from Eastern Arizona Junior College this year. Misses the first. She had a great game against UMass on Wednesday. 10 points, 7 rebounds, as you see the drive there and the foul. A little slap on the hand. Makes the second. 10-9 lead for LaSalle. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in this first quarter. Bohannon brings it up. Wolf drives that baseline. Nice defense from Armendariz. Rebound for Melius. It's been some great defense the last few minutes from LaSalle. Here's Masciantonio. Scores off the glass. 3-point lead for LaSalle. Under 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Outside to Wolf. Little spin move. Outside, Fiala. Stolen away, Bolden. And they say that stays with Dayton. Bolden went off her knee. And so the Flyers will keep it. Turco comes back in for LaSalle. Wheeler comes back in for Dayton. Twelve to 9 lead for LaSalle. Here's a drive from Wolf. Off the glass and one. Ivy Wolf averages 12.5 points per game, 3.6 assists per game. 3 straight games scoring 13 points or more. And she's an effective shooter. 37.6% from the field, 37.2% from the three-point range. And at the free throw line, 92.9%. That's nearly automatic on that free throw. All tied up at 12 apiece. A little over a minute left in this opening quarter. Armendariz out to Turco. Bolden. Melius. Back to Bolden. Armendariz, shot clock down to 5. Armendariz puts it up, little short, out of bounds, and a shot clock violation. Never hit the rim. So about 16 seconds separate shot and game clock. Dayton might try to go 2 for 1. They might have a chance at it. LaSalle is going to attempt to hold for the final second, see if they can get the last shot of this first quarter. Turco. Shot clock down to 7, and there's a foul called. Dayton did have one foul to give. That means now LaSalle, with a fresh shot clock, can hold for the final shot of the quarter. Inbound to Turco. Outside, Armendariz takes the 3. It's an air ball, and with 4 seconds left, Dayton may have a shot. Let's see what Wolf can do with this. Ooh! A hard screen from Mariah Perez that Masciantonio ran right into. Hopefully she's all right. We'll take a break at the end of the first quarter. Down court.
125,000 live event.
With
you won't want to miss. Get your tickets now.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with Tickets.com.
13-12 after 10 minutes. So we take a look at the tail of the tape. Dayton scores more and at a higher percentage than LaSalle so far this season. They also out-rebound LaSalle, but that's in large part due to Ariana Smith, the leading rebounder in the conference, who did not travel with the team here to Philadelphia. Turnovers have plagued the Flyers. As you see, their turnover margin has struggled. So the second quarter has now begun. I'm Corey Cohen with you live on ESPN+. LaSalle wearing white here at home. Dayton wearing red as Molly Masciantonio seems to be okay after taking a hard screen to end the first quarter from Destiny Bohannon. As that's a bucket inside for Shannon Wheeler. Masciantonio, Bolden getting a heavier workload following that 10.7 rebound game against UMass on Wednesday. Here's a drive, Melius off the glass, in and out. Down court, Jones. Perez back to Jones. Jones just a 3-point game against St. Louis. She had scored 3 straight 13-point or more games. Ivy Wolf. Jones, Bohannon, shot clock down to 6. Knocked away by Bolden. Still with Dayton, just 3 seconds left. And yeah, she did not realize that Perez, in an effort to save the ball, lost track of the shot clock. And that is a shot clock violation. So the Explorers bring it up. Trailing by 4. Here's a drive. Bolden. Outside. Armendaris gets her own rebound. Bounce pass brilliantly finds Gabby Turco. A great assist from Jolene Armendaris. Grad transfer out of San Francisco State, originally from Canyon Lake, California. Scored a D1 career high 16 points on Wednesday against UMass. That led the team in that 2-point victory over the Minutewomen. We've seen some great individual performances lately from the Explorers. In 5 of their last 7 games, they've had a player hit the 16-point mark. Michaela Miller's done it twice, Masciantonio once, Turco once, and Armendaris most recently. So far, it's been balanced today. One player hasn't stood out above the rest as there's a foul. That's on Turco. It is her second. Turco and Miller now with 2 fouls. So Danica Lightbourne at the line for the Flyers, freshman from Nassau, Bahamas. Just got her first point of the game. First point in a little bit. Hasn't scored in her last 3 games. Makes them both. Down court, and a little too high on that pass. Turned right back over to Dayton. Wolf. Wheeler to Wolf. Perez, pass underneath. Wheeler goes out of bounds. Explorers ball. Knocked away and stolen by Lightbourne. Cross-court pass. Wolf. Backdoor cut off the ground. Masciantonio comes away with it. There's Melius. Inside. Nothing there, and a foul called. I believe they called that against Gabby Turco. They do. That is her third. So that's a serious problem for LaSalle, picking up 3 fouls early in this second quarter. You imagine she's going to sit for the rest of this second quarter. Four-point lead for the Flyers. Top of the arc. Off the back iron, corralled by Amber Bullard. Melius, it's knocked away, falls on it, and that'll stay with LaSalle. Good defense, though, from the freshman, Danica Lightbourne. Bullard sets a screen, pick and roll. She was open. Masciantonio opts for the step back, Jay. Cuts this to a one-possession game. Wolf off a screen. A second screen. Wolf kicks it out. In the corner, Ivy Wolf. In and out. Offensive board, and the putback falls for Mariah Perez. Back up to a 4-point lead for Dayton. Melius to Bullard. Out to Bolden. Step back, Jay. Exactly where Masciantonio took it. Back-to-back step-back jumpers for the Explorers. Back to a 2-point game. Wolf. Bohannon. 5 minutes left. Shot from the elbow off the back iron. And Armendariz comes down with it. Masciantonio. Bolden. Fakes. Little too strong. Offensive board, Melius. Takes an open 3. Just too much. Rebound, Perez. Wolf. Driving and an offensive foul. A push-off called on Ivy Wolf. That is her first foul, and that brings us to immediate timeout here in the second quarter. Dayton leading LaSalle 20-18. We'll be back in just a moment right here on the ESPN family of networks.
At Independence Blue Cross, we're driven by a commitment to do good. We're a friendly helping hand on your journey. We're an advocate, connecting you to the strongest network of doctors and hospitals in the region with health coaches available 24/7. We're a partner, helping you tap into all the possibilities ahead. It's a privilege to help you pursue your healthiest life, one we've embraced for over 80 years. And we're not going anywhere.
This March, all roads lead to
Jones comes back in for Dayton. Masciantonio to Melius. Laya Monclava into the game for the first time. Monclava puts it up and scores! Freshman from Mallorca, Spain. Out of bounds, no one there for Dayton, and LaSalle takes over. Bohannon comes back in for Dayton. Melius quick catch and shoot off the rim. Rebounded by Kozlova. Bohannon. Wolf. 5 on the shot clock. Here's a drive. Bohannon short. Offensive board. Gets fouled on the putback. Meanwhile, Bolden is down and in pain. Didn't see what happened. There was contact. But she is lying on the floor in pain. Something to do with that left leg, left knee area. We're going to take a break. Back in a moment. Masciantonio. Armendariz. Masciantonio, shot clock down to 5. Wide open underneath. The finish from Monclova. And what a dime from Molly Masciantonio. Largest lead of the game for LaSalle. That's how tight this contest has been. Wolf. Inside. Fiala goes right up, makes it look easy. Again, a thin front court for LaSalle this afternoon. No Tejada, no Childs. Bullard currently on the bench. This is a 5-guard lineup out there for the Explorers. Melius takes it from way outside. It's short. Wolf. Here's a 3 from Jones. Too much. Rebound Monclova. She has put in some great minutes off the bench in this second quarter. Under 90 seconds left until halftime. Masciantonio off a screen, drives. No one could stop her. Molly Masciantonio burned right past Destiny Bohannon. 4-point lead for LaSalle. Got blocked and gives it away to avoid traveling. Great defense for Masciantonio. Melius to Masciantonio. Under a minute left until the half. Masciantonio launches a 3! Largest lead of the game for LaSalle, and a timeout is called by Tamika Williams-Jenner, the second-year head coach of the Dayton Flyers, with LaSalle leading 29-22. A phenomenal run these last few minutes from the Explorers, a 5-0 run as part of a 13-2 run in the last 5 minutes of action. The Explorers rolling here in the back half of this second quarter. Timeout called by Tamika Williams-Jenner. Her second year as the head coach. Was an incredible player. She was the top recruited player out of high school in the nation. Went to UConn, played for Gino Auriemma, won 2 national championships for the Huskies. Was named National Freshman of the Year. Was head coach at Division III Wittenberg University, and was hired at Dayton after former head coach Shauna Green got hired at Illinois. Shauna Green led this team in 2020 to go 15-1 in the Atlantic 10. They won the A10 championship, but the NCAA tournament canceled that year, of course, due to COVID. The next year, they won the regular season championship, but lost in the A10 tournament. Jumper, air ball. It will stay with the Flyers. Baseline inbound coming here from Ivy Wolf. Transfer from Miami of Ohio. Inbound to Jones. Tight defense there. Wolf, shot clock down to 2. They get it off just in time. It's short. Monclava with another rebound and a reach-in foul called on Perez. It's just her first and only the second team foul this quarter against Dayton. Still 10.2. Plenty of time for a LaSalle shot. Masciantonio wants someone to cut. Instead, she heaves it up, but first call for the travel. That basket went in, but it will not count. Masciantonio protesting that. That was a wild shot to have gone in. But it will not count in the box score. Wolf, and traveling called going the other way. So 2 interesting traveling calls here in the final couple seconds before halftime. Inbound, and that will end the first.
Even if you didn't know it.
Wonder. Dream. Rise. This is where we find the truth and where we find ourselves.
This March, all roads lead to Brooklyn. The 2024 A10 Men's Basketball Championship returns to Barclays Center, March 12th through 17th. 50.
Or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you,
When you vacation in Montgomery.
Get ready to crown a new champion at the 2024 Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Championship. A week filled with thrilling action for the entire family awaits from March 6th to the 10th at Enrico Sports and Event Center. Individual session passes are available now, so visit your school's box office to buy yours today. With 15 teams, 14 games, and
I'm Corey Cohen, coming to you live on ESPN Plus. For this Atlantic 10 matchup, LaSalle leading 29-22, following a 13-2 run to close out the second quarter. Inside, and an early bucket there for Shannon Wheeler. As Michaela Miller brings it up. Apologies for some technical difficulties. One of the cameras is out at the moment. So some unconventional angles here as we work to get that fixed. Wolf driving. Ivy Wolf off the glass. Too much. Offensive rebound, Perez. And kept alive. Here's an open three. Off the rim. Another offensive rebound and the putback for Mariah Perez. That was her 6th rebound. Too much on that one from Michaela Miller. Inside, little spin move. Falls for Shannon Wheeler, and a timeout called by Mountain McGillivray. LaSalle a slow start to this third quarter. That becomes immediate timeout. We will take a quick break. Back in a moment. Open the third quarter. We'll take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Explorers. Coming up on Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. They host Loyola Chicago. It's Women in Sports Day. We'll have that game for you right here on ESPN Plus. Then they head on the road next weekend to to Duquesne in Pittsburgh. Then down to D.C. to face GW and Foggy Bottom on Valentine's Day. Back home for a big matchup against St. Joe's on February 18th. And then on the road at Richmond All those games available on ESPN+. I'm Corey Cohen with you here live at Tom Gola Arena. Nicole Melius, too much. So LaSalle, slow start to this third quarter. Dayton with a quick start. Knocked away by Masciantonio. Miller comes away with it. Out to Masciantonio. Kayla Miller had 2 fouls in that first half. Didn't get a ton of playing time in the second quarter. Masciantonio. 4 on the shot clock, and a foul called on Destiny Bohannon, her first.
Foul on 33, Destiny Bohannon, her first, team's first of the quarter.
So fresh 20 seconds for LaSalle on the shot clock. Inbounded to Melius in the corner. Melius drives, goes around Armendariz. Wide open offensive rebound, Armendariz. Nice work by LaSalle carving up that defense. Coming off the steal from LaSalle. Dayton has the worst turnover margin in the Atlantic 10. As that misses. And they've struggled today. 12 turnovers against the Flyers, just 5 against LaSalle. They have out-rebounded the Explorers, no surprise there. They are second in the conference in rebounding margin and offensive rebounds. Michaela Miller gets fouled and will head to the line. Dayton having to rack up those numbers without Ariana Smith, the junior from Columbus, Ohio, transferred in from Indiana State, is the best rebounder in the entire Atlantic 10. She's also got the 3rd best field goal percentage in the A10. In addition, Ariana Smith is 8th in the country in rebounds per game and 6th in the country in offensive rebounds. That is a huge absence that Dayton is dealing with today. Miller makes 1 for 2. (32-28). LaSalle on top. Here's a drive, too much. LaSalle ball. Foul called.
Foul on number 3, Anissa Jones, her first, team's 3rd. Destiny Bohannon back in for the Flyers. Once again, foul sends Michaela Miller to the line, shooting 2.
Makes the first. Misses the second yet again. Back-to-back trips for Miller where she makes the first but not the second. Stolen away by Miller. Another Dayton turnover. Miller in transition, pulls back, hands off Turco. Driving the baseline. Turco, beautiful jumper. Turco up to 4 points. 8 players for LaSalle in the scoring column. Traveling called against the Flyers. Yet another turnover. Turco. Down court too high on the pass attempted for Armendariz. Dayton coming off a brutal game on Wednesday. They got outscored in the first half 40-14. They did start to come back in the second half by scoring 47 points as there's a bucket inside for Wheeler. But it was not enough. They lost to St. Louis 87-61 in Ohio. LaSalle got a big win against UMass on the road on Wednesday, 63-61. UMass tied it up with 4 seconds left, but Michaela Miller got fouled, went to the line, made both free throws, and LaSalle got the victory over the Minutewomen for the second time this year. Now here is a welcome substitution. Tiara Bolden, who had a brutal-looking injury in the second quarter to her left knee, is back into the game. Her knee is taped up, but she is healthy enough to play, and that is phenomenal news, because when she was on the ground, it looked incredibly serious. Michaela Miller blows right past Nio Lear. Miller with 4 points now, but a complete game for her. 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals in limited playing time. Foul called. That's on Bolden. That's her first. That brings us to immediate timeout. LaSalle leading 37-30. We'll take a quick break. Back with more A-10 basketball right after this.
When you vacation in Montgomery County, PA, your money worries get a vacation too.
Oh, you got to 100% ticket guarantee.
Side, great cut from Melius, who's up to 7 points. I'm Corey Cohen with you on this broadcast. There's a quick jumper by Destiny Bohannon. She's up to 5 points, averages just under 11 per game. 5-point lead for LaSalle. Miller finds Nicole Melius. Easy bucket inside. Great cut from Melius, who's up to 7 points. She's had 2 great buckets in the paint. Outside, here's a 3 from Kozlova, well off the mark for the senior transfer from Maryland, originally from Moscow. Outside, Armendariz, wide open, 3! Drilled by Jolene Armendariz. 10-point lead for LaSalle, their largest of the game. And that's blocked. Michaela Miller has possession. 2-on-1. Connolly misses underneath. And Dayton comes down with it. Anissa Jones will slow it down and find Ivy Wolf. Back to Jones. Jones in the lane. Well wide. Offensive board. It's a fight for it. Held ball. Possession arrow. Gives that to LaSalle. Turco comes in for Armendariz. So Masciantonio, Connolly, and Miller, all point guards out there. Nicole Melius a guard, and Gabby Turco at the 5, even though she's a 5'10" guard. Thin front court today for LaSalle, as it was in their last game against UMass. Miller inside, gets fouled. LaSalle's only front court player against UMass was Amber Bullard, just as it is today. They got a 2-point victory on the road up in Massachusetts, as Lightbourne comes in for Lear. Miller at the line. Makes the first. Makes them both. So a successful trip to the line there for Michaela Miller. Foul called. That's on Connolly.
Second team foul.
She can afford that. Just the second team foul. So Kozlova to inbound. Bohannon. Bohannon drives on Masciantonio. Bohannon, nicely done. Back to a 10-point lead for LaSalle. Masciantonio drives right back, too much. Lightborn. Pass inside, trying to use size. Count it, and one. Fiala, the freshman from Indiana, PA, coming off a career-best game. 15 points and 10 rebounds against St. Louis on Wednesday. And Mountain McGillivray saw what he needed to see. You can't defend a 6'4" player like Fiala without a front court player out there. And Amber Bullard comes off the bench. Again, their only front court player available today. Fiala to make it a three-point play, shoots with one hand and makes it. 44-37, pass inside, Bullard on the other end. Amber Bullard averages just 2.3 points per game. She is now on the board today. The 9th LaSalle player to score, another turnover, Armendariz. Michaela Miller misses, wide open underneath. Just too much. Miller outside, Armendariz mid-range, too short. Rebounded by Fiala. Underneath, that one falls for Anissa Jones. And Jones, who averages over 9 points per game, is on the board for the first time today. Scored 13 points or more in 3 of her last 4 games. Michaela Miller takes a 3, short and out of bounds. It's been fascinating to see the battle of the bigs in this one. LaSalle without Tejada, without Childs, and it's a small team to begin with. And then Dayton without Ariana Smith, one of the best rebounders in the entire country. 6th in the nation in offensive rebounds, 8th in the nation in total rebounds per game. Lightborn, wide, but a foul will send Lightborn to the line. First is good. Makes them both. Bolden back in. There's a 3, wide and out of bounds. It'll stay with LaSalle. Armendariz pass underneath. Bullard gets blocked. It'll stay with LaSalle. 6 on the shot clock. Bohannon back in. Masciantonio needs to inbound it. That was 5 seconds. Turned over to Dayton. Still, LaSalle, that's their 7th turnover. Dayton has 16 against them. And Dayton lowest in the A10 in turnover margin. Meanwhile, they're one of the best rebounding teams, 2nd in rebounding margin and offensive rebounds. They are out-rebounding LaSalle 32-24 and 10-8 in offensive boards, as they say that's LaSalle ball. But again, Dayton without Ariana Smith, the best rebounder in the conference and one of the top rebounders in the nation statistically. Shot clock turned off for the remainder of this 3rd quarter. LaSalle will hold for the final shot. Miller driving outside. Turco off the back iron, and that ends the 3rd quarter. LaSalle leading 46-41. We're going to take a quick break. Back with the 4th quarter in just a moment.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of...
Corralled by Jones.
That connect you to the strongest network of doctors. We give you the confidence to live
Safer, simpler, and smart. It's smart.
41 in this Atlantic 10 matchup. The Explorers 4-5 in the conference. The Flyers 3-7. Both of these teams have an excellent opportunity today to move up the A10 standings. And what's going to be a fierce battle for positioning in the A10 tournament. So the 4th quarter underway now. As Dayton inbounds, I'm Corey Cohen with you live on ESPN+. LaSalle wearing white here at home, Dayton wearing red. Top of the arc, 3, too much. Offensive board, put back, blocked. Still with Dayton, thrown back to Wolf. Does not make LaSalle pay. Armendariz. Masciantonio, here's Armendariz. Corralled by Jones. Wheeler, pass inside, counted and one for Fiala. Again, just a tough matchup for LaSalle. They don't have anyone out there who can match up. Jolene Armendariz, the tallest player listed at 6 feet tall. That might be a bit generous and certainly can't hold a candle to Fiala, who's 6'4". Amber Bullard, the only front court player available for LaSalle to try to defend against a player like Fiala, who's coming off a career best game. Drive from Masciantonio. Out to Armendariz. Now Bolden from the wing, little wide, offensive board Miller. Masciantonio, second chance, not quite. Another offensive rebound for Miller. Fresh 20 seconds and the Explorers will reset. And Miller will run the offense. Shot clock down to 7. Michaela Miller wants to drive, loves to drive. Kicks it out, finds Armendariz. Short. And Dayton finally brings down the board. Great work crashing the boards there from Michaela Miller. Jumper drilled by Destiny Bohannon. She's up to 9 points. Best backcourt player today for Dayton. Ivy Wolf with a quiet game. Just 5 points, 2 for 9 shooting. Melius airball. Bolden just started limping on that knee as she will head out. So certainly not 100% following that tough knee injury in the second quarter. All tied up at 46. Dayton on a 9-0 run. Bohannon. Here's Wheeler. She's going to try a three. Misses. Melius gets blocked. It'll stay with LaSalle. Masciantonio. And a foul called against Dayton. That's on Anissa Jones, senior transfer from Ohio State. This is her second year at Dayton. Here's Miller. Puts it up. No whistle. Stolen right back, but then picked up by Fiala. Not sure if they'll call that a steal in the stat book. 2 steals, one for Armendariz, one for Fiala. It's tough to tell if Armendariz had possession. There's a jumper from Wolf, and Dayton on an 11-0 run has retaken the lead for the first time since midway through the second quarter. Masciantonio. Patented post-up move, pulls it back. Melius open for 3! Nicole Melius up to 10 points. For the freshman out of Staten Island, the leading scorer in the history of New York City high school basketball. Beautiful bucket there for Shannon Wheeler, who's up to 12 points. 1 point lead for Dayton in this fourth quarter. The drive, Masciantonio, count it, no offensive foul. The bucket does not count. She was not happy about that as Turco comes back in for LaSalle. Perez comes back in for Dayton. Brought up by Wolf. She's had 3 straight games scoring 13 points or more. She's at 7 so far today. And a foul called against Michaela Miller. That is her 3rd. No player in significant foul trouble, but Miller and Turco have 3 apiece for LaSalle. Nio Lear, who doesn't get a ton of playing time, has 3 for Dayton. Wolf. Mid-range, off the rim, and a kicked ball. And that was kicked by Ivy Wolf. So it'll be LaSalle basketball. LaSalle down by a single point. They've got their small ball lineup in there. Turco in the paint. Turco puts it up. It is short. Offensive rebound for Emma Egan and a foul called against Dayton. That's on Jones, her 3rd. Inbound to Masciantonio. Shot clock down to 7. Miller driving, gets fouled. And Miller will head to the line for the 4th time today. That's also on Anissa Jones, so now she's got 4 fouls. As that goes to a media timeout, we will take a quick break. Back in just a moment.
At Independence Blue Cross, we're driven by a commitment to do good. We're a friendly helping hand on your journey. We're an advocate, connecting you to the strongest network of doctors and hospitals in the region with health coaches available 24/7.
Desire.
For my impeccable academic record.
Fourth quarter here in Philadelphia, just under 5 minutes left in regulation. Dayton leading LaSalle 50-49. The Flyers are on a 13-3 run. That has brought them back from down 12 to up 1, but Miller at the line to shoot 2. Misses the first. Misses them both. An empty trip to the line for Michaela Miller. You can tell she's frustrated with herself. Dayton still on top. Stolen away. Another turnover from the Flyers. Miller using Bullard, but misses inside. Michaela Miller. You can tell she's in her head. She's frustrated. 2 missed free throws, and then a missed layup right underneath the basket. Nice defense here from Masciantonio. Knocked away and stolen. Miller has it. Down court, Amber Bullard gets fouled. So Bullard at the line. Misses the first. LaSalle shooting 7 for 13 from the free throw line. Misses them both. LaSalle shooting a combined 50% from the charity stripe. They average 65%, which is not very good. But 50% today has shot themselves in the foot. They trail by 3 after that hook shot. Masciantonio puts it up and scores. Masciantonio up to 13 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 rebounds, and a block. 1 point lead for Dayton. Wolf outside. Wheeler finds Lear. Out to Wheeler. They dare her to shoot. She does. Wheeler with 14 points. She averages under 5 per game. And a timeout called by LaSalle. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. 2 minutes and 39 seconds left. Dayton leading LaSalle 54-51. LaSalle struggling these last few minutes. Really, this third quarter, they've been outscored 13-5. And in this third quarter, the Explorers are shooting 2 for 11. They've missed all 4 of their free throw attempts. This is not the time that LaSalle wants to go cold. They're used to close games, though, just on Wednesday against UMass on the road. UMass tied the game with 4 seconds left. LaSalle managed to win that with a pair of free throws by Michaela Miller. Inbound to Miller. Dribbles back out. Again, I'm Corey Cohen with you live on ESPN+. Out to Armendariz. The drive, short. Rebound for Lear. Dayton can burn some clock here. Cross-court pass. Bohannon misses the three. Masciantonio comes down with it. Three there could have been huge. A blocking foul called on Wolf. LaSalle into the bonus now for the remainder of this game. So Miller at the line to shoot two, but she's 4 for 8 today from the charity stripe. Misses that one. Misses the second. Not sure what is happening. They do get an offensive rebound. But LaSalle now 0 for 6 this quarter from the free throw line. Miller driving, misses. Miller is struggling mightily in this fourth quarter. Still a one-possession game. Miller knocks it away. She's been great on defense, but the offense has been an issue. Here's from the elbow. That misses. LaSalle still firmly in this game, down by just 3. Masciantonio. Driving. Plants that pivot foot. It rattles in. Masciantonio up to 15 points. And the Explorers trail by just 1. Under a minute left. Dayton will drain some clock. That goes up and in for Destiny Bohannon. 51 seconds left. LaSalle back down 3. Masciantonio takes a 3. She ties it! Molly Masciantonio, 18 points. 1 away from a Division I career high. And with under 30 seconds left, this game is tied at 56. Dayton on the ball. Ball deflected. Wheeler drives in the lane. Missed. Perez kicks it out. 10 on the shot clock. Wolf. Wheeler in the corner. Nio Lear driving and scores! 6.9 seconds left and a timeout call by Mountain McGillivray. A huge layup for Nio Lear, the sophomore from Illinois. What a play for Lear. Let's take another look at that. Great work with the awareness to know where the shot clock was. Went to drive, took a high percentage attempt, and made it past a small LaSalle lineup. So now it's a 2-point lead for the Flyers. With 6.9 seconds left. They do have a 3-point ace in Nicole Melius on the squad. Molly Masciantonio can score from pretty much anywhere, as the 1,000-point career scorer has another 18 today, well above her season average of 8.4 per game. So they've got some options. I'll be curious if Michaela Miller's in the game. Usually you want her in there, but she is 1 for 9 shooting today. Many of those high percentage looks that she's missed, and 4 for 10 from the free throw line. What a thrilling conclusion we'll be seeing here. And Miller is on the floor. She's going to inbound. It's a shooting 5. They've got to get it in. And a timeout was called just in the nick of time by Mountain McGillivray. That was incredibly close to a 5-second violation that would have turned the ball over and could have effectively ended this game if Dayton made both their free throws. So LaSalle gets a new lease on life after that timeout called by sixth-year head coach Mountain McGillivray. They were 8-7 in the Atlantic 10 last year. They're currently 4-5. They have not been at 500 yet. So this time Molly Masciantonio is going to inbound. 6.9 seconds left. Gets it to Miller. Final moments. Miller driving, puts it up, scores! 3.3 seconds left, and a timeout called by Dayton. 58-58. The Flyers could walk it off in regulation, or this game is headed to overtime. Unless, of course, LaSalle gets a steal. Dayton has turned the ball over 19 times today. Let's take a look at that. Michaela Miller, who was 1 for 9 shooting in this game, 4 for 10 from the charity. The potential bucket mattered the most. Dayton has rebounds. We're on this left. Allow Dayton to get anything done on the inside. Wolf is going to inbound. 3.3 seconds left in this fourth quarter. An inbound. Bohannon got it off in time. This game is headed to overtime. And Turco will come in for Bullard. So a short lineup for LaSalle. Fairly tall one for Dayton, with Wheeler and Perez both out there. Armendariz guarding Perez. Pass inside to Wheeler. Melius trying to guard Wheeler. Gets some help. Offensive board for Wheeler. Held ball. And possession arrow gives that to LaSalle. A huge bucket from Molly Masciantonio tied the game. Then a big bucket from Nia O'Lear for Dayton, put them on top. Michaela Miller answered to tie it, and Dayton missed in the final seconds of the fourth. Armendariz wide and out of bounds. Brought up by Wolf. Transferring from Miami of Ohio. She's been the team's leading scorer, has 3 straight games scoring 13 or more. She has 7 today. Jones. Wolf inside to Perez. Takes it from the free throw line, wide left. Armendariz grabs it. Masciantonio down court, finds Turco with the reverse. Brilliant assist from Masciantonio. Last year's leader in assist-to-turnover ratio in the NCAA. Perez out to Wolf. 2-point lead for LaSalle. Pass inside to Perez. Quickly double-teamed. Perez off the back iron. LaSalle basketball. Great defense from this undersized Explorers team. For the Flyers toward the end of regulation. Masciantonio, one away from a D1 career high that she set earlier this season with 19 against Fordham. That was tipped, and Lear has it. 3 minutes left in overtime. Wide open, Anissa Jones drives, and a foul called will send Jones to the line. Abby Turco. Spending a couple years of her last 4 games. She has 4 points now for her. but a stellar bucket to tie this game in the final moments. Miller. Masciantonio. Armendariz. Drive from Masciantonio. Outside Miller. Shot clock down to 4. Molly Masciantonio, little too strong. Fighting for it. A foul called on Fiala. Excuse me, Ivy Wolf is who the foul is called on. And that is her 5th, and so Ivy Wolf, the leading scorer for the Flyers, has now fouled out with 7 points. She did have 5 assists, a great game distributing the ball, but just 3 for 11 shooting. As Nicole Melius is at the line and misses the first. The free throws have hurt LaSalle horribly. They're shooting 43.8%. Makes the second. They're without their leading scorer of the season. They're without Ariana Smith all day today, who averages about 10 points and over 11 rebounds per game. On the ground, and that's a kicked ball. Just over 2 minutes left in overtime. Bohannon. Jones. Jones driving underneath the reverse. Count it! Huge play for Anissa Jones. In what's been a quiet day. Dayton leading by 1 single point. Drive from Miller. Outside, Armendariz. For 3! Jolene Armendariz puts LaSalle back on top with under 90 seconds remaining. Here's a drive. Lear underneath, a pass, count it, and 1 for Fiala. Time. 2-point lead for Dayton. Masciantonio with a rare turnover. Up by 2. Egan, minute left underneath. The reverse missed. Offensive board, Perez. Fresh 20 seconds for Dayton. And they'll drain some clock. Huge. 2-possession lead for Dayton. Miller. Outside, Armendariz. Can she do it again? She can! Jolene Armendariz has kept LaSalle in this ball game. Year at UConn. He will take a
navigated
distance or doctors for $0 health.
Something you love are their goals. Their the
up by 1. Again, I'm Corey Cohen with you here on ESPN+. Lear needs to inbound, gets it to Bohannon. They fight for it, and instead of a held ball, they call a foul. Get a free throw. Can advance the ball. And they're going to look. I wouldn't. They inbound. Left, and a timeout called by Dayton. Miller drives, easy 2 points. Her second time. LaSalle has to hold. And now a foul called on LaSalle. Ball, they just made both just a few moments ago. Led the team in side of the pillow from the line for LaSalle. 81.3% for Dayton. Here's Masciantonio, 10 seconds left. LaSalle is going to need a 3. Masciantonio from the corner, missed. And travel. And she will. Jones, way out. And if that is the case, LaSalle would get to inbound. A deeper defense from Dayton, knowing what was coming. Because LaSalle needed a 3 and nothing short of it. So we'll wait to see what the call is.